You're launching a brand in 2020 in a super saturated market. You're coming out with an EAA like AP Sports Regimen. What are you going to do to make it stand apart? Well, let's talk about what Caesar and the boys did to make this one stand apart in their company. Obviously, EAAs are super popular right now, and there's a lot of them out there, so we have to look at what's going to make some products differentiate from the rest. I like what AP Sports Regimen did here, and remember, this is a company that listened to our criticism earlier in the year and came out with new products that were a little bit better than what they used to have. They're open profiles, and they're also going to be sporting trademarked ingredients. EAA plus Hydro is no different. We've got a nice all 9 amino acid, essential amino acid product here, also including some other ingredients for hydration and one trademarked ingredient on the end. How complicated can you really go with EAs? Well, we've seen some people go pretty complicated here, but what I like what they did here is they kept it simple in some areas, they splurged in some other areas, and they made a product that tastes good and is very effective. So let's start from the top. Let's talk a little bit about the ingredients here and talk about what they can do for you. So we've got all 9 essential amino acids here, and I'm going to talk about what that means, but I want to make sure you guys know I'm not today going to go through every single amino acid. I know that I lose you guys when I do that. It's boring. I get it. I've done it before. If you want to learn about it, I do have other videos on it. But today I want to teach you guys what the product's going to do for you and why, and not get too nitty-gritty on the science and get kind of boring here. So off the top, we've got 10.5 grams of essential amino acids here. Now these 9 essential amino acids, they're essential because your body can't endogenously produce them. You have to get them in from the environment. What does that mean? Well, there's other amino acids that are non-essential that your body can actually produce inside from the nutrients you bring in from the environment. These aren't some of those. There's 9 in total, and this product has all 9, which is nice because there are ones out there that leave out certain ones because they don't taste good, they're expensive, for whatever reason. These guys didn't skimp on this one, and they went the full distance. So the first 3 are going to be commonly known as branched chain amino acids. You probably heard of these before. They were a big craze a couple years ago before the essential amino acid craze took over. These are 3 amino acids called leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Leucine is the most powerful because it actually turns on muscle protein synthesis, but isoleucine is also important for producing muscle glycogen, and valine comes along with the process and a lot of different pathways and processes that they're involved with. Those 3 are going to be very important, and most people focus on those. But the other 6 are also important because if you take BCAAs without essential amino acids, well, the analogy that I use is it's like sending construction workers to a construction site without the brick and mortar or the tools. They might go clock in, they might be working, but they're not going to do a very good job without the materials to build. There are arguments out there that if you're eating 6 meals a day, your normal bro diet, and you have all of your protein for the day, that your body will have stores of amino acids that they can use. And that probably is very true. There is a lot of data to suggest that. But here at PricePlow, we don't half-ass things. And while I do respect that reasoning and science, and I think that there's some reason to that, I don't want to do anything less than optimal, so I personally like to use the essential amino acids for the full spectrum. So the other 6 here are lysine, threonine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, methionine, and histidine. Now I'm not going to go through what each one does for you like I said before, but 2 that I want to mention that I'm happy that they use in here at good dosages are the 100 milligrams of tryptophan and the 100 milligrams of methionine. Now these are ingredients that have sometimes been left out of formulas for a couple different reasons. Tryptophan, the most common reason people will say is, well, tryptophan's that ingredient in turkeys that makes you sleepy after Thanksgiving. I'd respond that I think that's a little bit more of you just being in a carb coma from eating too much, but you know, what do I know there? Another one that's commonly left out is gonna be methionine, which is a sulfur-carrying amino acid, and for that reason it tastes horrible. It's really hard to flavor, and if you have a very good tongue for this, you probably will pick it up in most products. Because I've tasted so many amino acids, I can tell that it's in this product, but it's not gonna be something that's gonna be bad. I have tried it before. I have the orange mango, and I'm going to taste it in a little bit to let you know what I think about it, give you a little bit more of a description. But they did a good job covering up here, and I'm happy that they use all 9 here because, well, without all 9, what's the point of really going the distance, right? One of the things that I liked about Alpha Prime is that since they brought back their brand and changed some things, they've gone the full distance on quality. They've inquired about the correct testing. They've inquired about having the right manufacturer. They use trademarked ingredients. They really stepped things up. They have a fully transparent panel now. It's awesome to see what they're doing and stepping it up because, well, there's a lot of new brands that don't do that stuff and they would ignore the feedback from customers and authorities in the industry. So these guys have really stepped it up, and I think 2021 is going to be a good time for them. So after those 10.5 grams of essential amino acids, which are first off 7 grams of BCAAs at a 2-to-1 ratio, which I will add is the most studied ratio of BCAAs and probably the most beneficial you can do, and then 3.5 grams of the other essential amino acids. We then have 500 milligrams of an electrolyte blend. What I like here is that they headed off with a trademarked ingredient. They've got 200 milligrams of Aquamin. Now that is pretty cool because Aquamin is a red algae extract that has naturally occurring minerals. It's going to help with your electrolyte balance. Now I'm not telling you that I've drank this when I've had a hangover before, but I will tell you that if there's points in your life that you're dehydrated and you need to rehydrate, this is an awesome and effective ingredient that I've used in multiple different situations, from training to other dehydrated situations, and it's very, very effective. Now, outside of Aquamin, they've also got potassium citrate and sodium chloride from pink Himalayan salt. Now, both these are important. If you have ever taken too much sodium during a training cycle, you'll also notice that your blood pressure goes up unless you're balancing it with potassium. Potassium is definitely the underrated electrolyte in the industry, in my opinion. What I like about it is they didn't go too high in the potassium. It's still only 50 milligrams, which is important because if you go over like 99-ish milligrams of potassium, well, a formulator's explained to me that he's described it as similar to dry heaving out the other end of your body. Not very nice. But potassium is going to be really important for regulating your electrolytes alongside sodium. It'll also make sure that your heart health is doing well and your blood pressure is low. So it's awesome to see there. All this puts together a nice, simple, but effective essential amino acid product that's not only going to kickstart recovery, but it's also going to keep you hydrated, which is super important for performance. Remember that your muscles are a very large percentage water, so you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated for this training. Now, AP Sports Regimen is not just headed towards bodybuilders, it's headed towards any sort of athlete that wants to be stepping up their game. Caesar, the CEO, is a race car driver. They've got CrossFitters. They've got all sorts of different trainers in there, and they want to make products that doesn't just appeal to meatheads and bodybuilders. So it's awesome to see that they've stepped up their quality, they've stepped up their formulas, they've made their transparent labels for everyone. And going forward, I'm excited to see where they're going with these. If you want to read more about it, you can go over to our blog. You go to PricePlow.com/AP Sports Regimen. You can learn all about them there. We've got a few different blogs on more than just the products I've done videos on. If you have any questions about the product, you can leave it below. I'd love to talk to you about it. They've got a lot of cool stuff coming. They've had some bumps in the road, but we're happy to see that they're fixing things, moving forward, and making some cool stuff. So I really appreciate making this far in the video. We kept it kind of short because I didn't want to get too nitty gritty and lose people. I know that some people do get bored during the more scientific sections, so I hope that this was a little bit more digestible for you. Let me know what you thought. As always, guys, I really appreciate making this far in the video, and have a great day.
Welcome to PricePlow.